This is the second video in our IFR Sim Challenge series. Check out the link here or in the description to see the first and all other videos of this flight we're conducting from Waukesha, Wisconsin to Eau Claire. The first video was all about flight planning. In this one, we finished the plan and have been cleared for takeoff on runway 10, assigned an initial heading of 350 and a climb up to 3,000 feet. We want to maintain runway heading at first though, climbing until we're at least 400 feet above the departure end of the runway, or about 1300 MSL. Then we'll begin a standard rate turn to the left to 350. Around this time, we get our handoff from tower. November 8 Foxtrot Tango, contact departure. We got our departure frequency assigned in our clearance and have it set on standby. Sometimes tower won't tell you the frequency again, so make sure you have it in there. We'll switch over and make our call. Milwaukee departure, Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, 1,600, climbing 3,000, assigned heading 350. November 8 Foxtrot Tango, Milwaukee departure, ident. And we'll key the ident button on our transponder. The controller needs this to complete the radar identification of our flight. Once they see our radar target blossom on their screen thanks to the ident, they'll respond with November 8 Foxtrot Tango, radar contact 2 miles northeast of Waukesha Airport, 1,800. Turn left direct Hawken, climb and maintain 6,000. Turn left direct Hawken, climb and maintain 6,000, 8 Foxtrot Tango. So we'll track the GPS course up to 6,000 feet and level off, completing our cruise checklist as needed. As we approach the Hawken fix, the GPS unit will begin counting us down to a turn, a left to 287. When the timer runs out, we could start that standard rate turn and twist the OBS to the new course. If we maintain airspeed, we should roll out of the turn on our new course with the needle centered. We're now on the leg of our flight plan to the DELS VOR, Delta Lima Lima. For the rest of the flight, we're going to focus on handoffs. Right now, we're talking to Milwaukee departure, but we'll be handed off to a variety of different controllers on this flight. It's not always obvious where these handoffs will occur and who you'll be transferred to. A bit of inside baseball is at work regarding whether you're in a center's airspace or with an approach controller. There are also various frequencies you might be transferred to within the same facility. The good news is we don't really need to worry about this in the en route phase. We'll get a handoff instruction and treat each one basically the same. This is a surprisingly stressful process, listening for a handoff, copying down the frequency, entering it in, changing over, then making a new call. So let's come up with a procedure you can repeat again and again to make it easier. Over the course of your flight, you're bound to hear plenty of chatter over the radio. Almost all of it will concern other aircraft. We learned to sort of tune this out. Now, you still want to absorb what's being said. It can be good for situational awareness if, for example, you hear a report of bad weather ahead from another aircraft, but most of the time, it's background noise. We should listen for our call sign. An instruction for us will always begin with our call sign, 518 Foxtrot Tango or 8 Foxtrot Tango. As soon as you hear that, you want to listen up. And I suggest doing one more thing, being ready to copy a new frequency, since the odds are that's why we're being called right now. The way I like to do this is as soon as I hear my call sign, immediately put my hand on the comm knob, and as the controller says the new frequency, key it into the unit. That way, all I need to do is read back what I just keyed in. You could do the same thing with a pen or scratch pad if you prefer writing down frequencies. But one way or the other, you should not try to read the new frequency back until you got it down somewhere for you to see. It's too easy to forget in the process. Here comes our first handoff. November 8 Foxtrot Tango, contact Madison approach 120.1. By the time the controller finishes saying the frequency, we've got it keyed into COM 1. We read it back, 120.1 Cessna 8 Foxtrot Tango. Now we flip over. If you forget what facility you're talking to, you could just call them approach. We want to check in with our call sign and altitude. Everything else like our route and where we're navigating to should have been transferred over to the controller, but they need our altitude to positively identify us. Madison approach, Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, 6,000. Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, Madison approach, Madison altimeter 29902. And so concludes our handoff. We're flying to the north of the Madison class Charlie, which is why we got handed off to them. We'll stay with Madison, maybe getting a handoff to a different frequency at the same facility, or we'll stay on this one until another handoff comes. Once again, as soon as we hear the call sign, our hand goes to the comm knob. Cessna 8 Foxtrot Tango, contact Volk approach 135.25. 135.25 Cessna 8 Foxtrot Tango. And over to them and do our check-in. Volk approach, Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, 6000. Cessna 8 Foxtrot Tango, Volk approach to altimeter 29902. This is a military controller working the airspace around Volk Air Force Base to our north, but since we're in their sector, we belong to them now. We should be anticipating at least one more handoff since Eau Claire isn't within Volk's TRACON airspace. Cessna 8 Foxtrot Tango, contact Minneapolis Center on 128.6. We missed the frequency. It happens, so we'll ask for it again. Say again frequency for 8 Foxtrot Tango. Cessna 8 Foxtrot Tango, Minneapolis Center, 128.6, 2860. 128.6, Cessna 8 Foxtrot Tango. The controller did us a favor by reading the frequency both as individual digits and as full numbers. This increases the likelihood that the numbers will stick in our brain. Controllers will do this from time to time, so we have it now and we'll switch over. Minneapolis Center, Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, 6000. Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, Minneapolis Center, Lacrosse altimeter 29902. So another successful handoff. We're getting closer to our destination of Eau Claire, which means it's time to start planning our arrival. That'll be the subject of the next video, the third in the series, which you can check out on the Flight Insight website using the link here or in the description. See you next time.